Today, I'm going to focus on practical AI. So there is an awful lot we could talk about here. I'm going to keep it quite top line, and hopefully it will help you and support you make your decisions about what you look to do next. So why are we here today? Well, AI isn't going to replace you, but if you don't use it effectively and don't get on board now, someone else is going to replace you. So this was a quote I saw online. An American team of AI specialists are doing a big 3-day conference, and this is their strapline. And I just thought, what a great way to start today's talk. So I hope that resonates with you all. Please don't be scared, though. You're not out of a job. So who am I? As I said, very briefly, I'm a strategic lead. I work across high trust industries, typically law firms, financial institutes, university enterprises, etc. I advise on practical AI use. Obviously, I didn't used to, but now I do, because we are all in, as we were just saying, we're all in the same boat. We're all having to pivot and having to move forward. AI in the UK is no longer experimental. It's now in the industrialization phase. So the whole point of today's webinar is to bring our marketing AI skills to you to support you. So as I mentioned, when I say I'm an old school marketer, I did my degree in marketing before social media existed. I then have adapted and moved forward with social media, and I'm now pivoting and doing the same for AI, and you can do the same as well. Any of these AI experts that you see online, they're doing exactly the same thing. They are learning day by day. This is changing. This webinar will be out of date within 6 months, maybe within 6 weeks, without, sounding too depressing. I'm currently on 2 separate AI courses at the moment because I'm just trying to absorb and learn as quickly as possible. So AI is everywhere, all in agreement, but clarity is not. My little graphics on the side, I don't know if you've come across any of these terms, but what's LLM, what are AI agents, what's AI assists, etc. But I just wanted to do a quick hands up. Does anyone here feel any of these things? Anyone overwhelmed by the amount of tools? And anyone here feeling, I don't know, you've all got your cameras off, but anyone feeling pressured to do something with AI? Anyone unsure and unclear on the guidance, the safety, the user, what to do, what not to do? Yeah, and does anyone here understand the return on investment and measuring the success of it? Or is that another area that we're all a bit unclear on? I think so. But fear not, because what we mean by practical AI is actually not throwing everything we know out, but actually keeping it and supporting it. So I'm overstimulated in everyday life, and I'm sure you are. We do not need more noise. None of us need more noise. We need to streamline. We need support in idea generation, content creation, data analysis. So the pillars here are what I want to go through. Supporting your existing strategy. So these are things like HubSpot Breeze AI. That's a great way to look at integrating your existing strategies and CRM systems into, so for example, taking a white paper and turning it into LinkedIn posts, etc. So this is about your existing marketing activity, supporting you with that. So chatbots, I'm going to come on to, but this is sort of pillar 1, supporting existing strategy. Next, improving your efficiency, your consistency. Consistency is one of the weakest parts of most people's marketing. Week 1, they're going to do a LinkedIn post every day. They're going to write a white paper. They're going to send newsletters out. They're going to do webinars. And then it just all dies away. We all need help with efficiency, consistency. Some of the tools you may want to note here are things like Jasper Enterprise, this is excellent for consistency because you feed it your marketing strategy, your brand guidelines, and it produces campaigns based off that. Even Canva, anyone use Canva? Canva Magic Studio, great for editing and repurposing content. Number 3, supporting with idea generation, research and content. This is probably the best way to use it and to start. I would suggest everyone starts here. This is the likes of, starting with a blank page and going to someone and asking for some help. There are tools like Market Muse. They act as AI research assistants. They identify topic gaps. They can come up with competitor analysis. They can look at different angles. But obviously it's all to do with what you put into it. It's the same with chatbots, that I do mean chatbots, sorry, with regards to what you put in, you get out. So use it, test it with regards to idea generation, with regards to researching, asking for information, getting content potentially written up for you. Number 4, the enhancing your decision making with data. So being able to move from the I think to I know, being able to put in loads of information, loads of different data sources, or asking for different data sources. So things like Peak AI, I don't know if you've come across them. So they are a UK leader, actually, they're based in Manchester, of decision intelligence. They can tell you exactly how to forecast. They can analyze your data you put in, helping you to make decisions quicker and more accurately. Brand24, another real-time social listening tool. It helps you to decide whether you need to double down on a campaign, pivot, move away, try different things. So these are all quite good marketing tools to start with. And then finally, this is your bottom line, isn't it? The ROI. So a couple of things to look at here would be add creative AI. This helps you put in what you've been doing, helping you with regards to advertising analysis. Also, another one is Seventh Sense. So this is an AI tool for email marketing. So this focuses on the send time optimization. I don't know if any of you use MailChimp, but MailChimp suggests a good time to send a newsletter. It suggested to me the other day, 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. Now, I don't think anyone would agree that's a good time to send a newsletter out. So those are a couple of practical AI tools. But before I get into before you think, oh, Christ, she's just given me a load more tool names to look up, I want to bring it back to basics. If you joined our marketing webinar myself and Sylvia did in January, I talked about branding and the importance of branding. And it comes down to this slide that I presented then. Don't forget the basics. Who are you talking to? When are you talking to them? Where are you communicating with them? What are you saying and how are you saying it? This is what your strategy should be built on. It's still target market first. AI isn't going to tell you all of this, or it could, but it won't be accurate. You need to have that knowledge and that awareness and that guidance. So I promised you I would talk about chatbots, and I just thought this would be interesting because, again, hands up, anyone who's using chat, sort of trying it, playing with it, using it, absolutely sworn to it. It's never going to go anywhere without asking Claude what to do. But I just thought this would be really useful. So there are obviously hundreds and hundreds of different tools, but these are the 4 main chatbots out there at the moment. ChatGPT, it's called the innovative one because it was one of the first to market and it was the first sort of mainstream. It launched in November 2022. It's okay. It's got the biggest user base at the moment. But actually what's happened is Gemini and Claude and Copilot have actually kind of come up behind it and taken over it. So I would suggest if you're au fait with chat, you might want to move on. Gemini. So obviously this is the Google ecosystem, which makes it fantastic for those on the Google ecosystem, such as myself. So this is really the one to watch because it can really do deep diving. I can connect it to all of my files, my calendar, my emails, and I can ask it questions and it will pull that knowledge. So it is useful. Claude, a lot of people are fans of Claude, known as the human one or the clever one. It's good for in-depth analysis, so reasoning, detailed responses. It's good for analyzing, like if you wanted to put a white paper in, if you had a 100-page white paper to put in to Claude to get the gist, Claude would be the right one to use for that. And again, Copilot, Microsoft's version, same as Gemini, very good ecosystem through the whole Microsoft 360, very secure, and it has a fantastically quick ability to scan your files, your emails, your documents to provide good contextual understanding. So if you need to pull, you're writing a summary and you need to pull from lots of different sources, this is quite useful. This slide I tried to make with AI, my Google Slides AI, and I kept giving it different prompts, and this is what it came up with. But I kept it, although it looks a bit crap, I kept it because it's a slide about prompts. So the key to AI is what you give it. It's a little bit like working with a child, I think, in that the more you help it, the more you give it, the more you're going to get from it. So number one, and my team who are on the call will know this is one of my biggest bugbears, is please, please, please ensure you are using UK British English. Because if you send an email or write a LinkedIn post or a newsletter full of Zs and M dashes, etc., we know it's come out of chat, okay? It's come out of AI. Be as descriptive as possible. So I know this may sound silly, but I'm going to come on to a slide later about the bias and the hallucinations of AI. It is not perfect and it really does not know anything. So you need to give it as much context as possible. I am female, I'm 42. I want sound to sound professional, knowledgeable, and approachable and understanding. And then you would give it the please write an email to a prospect client, etc., etc. Ask for references. So if you are writing a blog, if you are using this for research, ensure you ask for references, please, because it hallucinates. And I'm going to show you a fantastic example of this later, which got someone in a lot of trouble. Please ask to have references. You need proof that what it is telling you is correct. And lastly, ask AI to help you. I could type in, provide ideas for interesting/useful LinkedIn posts from a UK-based B2B professional marketing consultancy to attract SME businesses with a turnover 100 mil plus, owner-led, looking for growth and support. And then I would obviously, put in my ideas. I'm thinking about writing about the importance of fractional CMO marketing support within the legal industry. So I just wanted to give you a couple of ideas about the strict prompts you can use. The importance of using the right prompt. So I'm certainly not making light of this example, but this was in the BBC News at the weekend. I don't know if anyone saw it, but this is a really great example. So chat is being used for medical reasons. People are fed up with trying to get to the doctors, so they're putting it into chatbots. Oh, I've lost so I have a terrible headache and my neck is stiff, so I can't look down. In addition to the light hurting my eyes. Sorry to hear that. Blah, 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 blah. Migraine, tension, headache. Try resting in the dark. Okay? Put into a different chat with a slightly different emphasis. I have suddenly developed the worst headache ever. It came suddenly, I can't concentrate, and my neck is stiff. I also cannot stand the light. So it's the same information, but just put differently, and suddenly seek urgent, immediate medical advice, meningitis, brain hemorrhage, etc. pretty severe examples. If you do get a chance, it's still on the BBC, and it's a really, really, really interesting article about using AI in the medical professions. So next, what I want to talk to you about is the AI framework. So how you actually put this into your day-to-day. We want this to be simple, practical, supporting with strategic growth. So number one, please define your objectives. What are you using AI for? Number two, have you already audited your current marketing? What works, what doesn't work? What are your competitors doing? Once you have that, you can then identify the AI opportunities where AI can help save you time, make you more efficient, come up with idea generation, drive results. Then test it in small and please controlled environments. Don't just go out there tomorrow with, you know, your new content strategy. And then finally, measured, track what matters to you. You know, what are you looking for? Because if you're not able to fully track it, obviously I appreciate in marketing there are actually lots of areas we can't track, but with regards to if you're putting things into AI, if you're using AI tools, what is it actually giving you? What are you getting from it? Very quickly, AI risks and limitations. So bias. Everything is naturally biased, and this includes AI. But you've got to be very careful with what information AI does give you. So it can, because it learns from its past searches, it's based basically on popularity. Therefore, it's starting to ignore whole demographic sections because people aren't asking about them. Really good example is, if you've got time and you want to play, type in, what does a business person look like? And I guarantee you it is going to show you a white, middle-aged, grey-haired gentleman in a suit. Have I got time? Or I haven't got time, but there's a fantastic 𝗵𝗶 video that I wanted to play today. It's called The Code. It was made about 18 months ago by 𝗵𝗶, and it starts about natural beauty. So show me a beautiful woman, and it shows a fake AI generated woman who has beautiful, luscious blonde hair, huge breasts, and is just generally perfect. And they have then taken that and done their, you know, lovely brand 𝗵𝗶 messaging with regards to what real beauty looks like, and how we cannot get bogged down, and we should not get bogged down by what AI thinks we should be. Next, very quickly, data privacy. Please use paid chatbots if you're going to use them. So Gemini Pro, for example, I think it's around £15 a month per user, but obviously you get out what you put in. And please don't put any of your intellectual property into it, because if you're putting your IP into it, other people are getting that out. Obviously we're talking about high trust industries here, so legal, financial, etc. You don't want to be putting that out. Hallucinations. I'm going to show you a great example, as I said, but it is a predictive AI or generative AI is a predictive engine. It is not a fact engine, and that's what we have to remember when using it. It wants to sound convincing rather than be correct. Lastly, IP and copyright. Legal landscape for AI content in the UK is currently a wait and see. Pretty terrifying, isn't it? Okay, so AI is a tool, not a replacement for human. So don't overcomplicate your approach. Don't rely too heavily on automation. I can't say the word, automation. Don't ignore your brand tone of voice. Don't start chasing shiny things, because, you know, for example, as I said, when I was doing my slides, I asked it to make something look prettier, and it suddenly came up with something that looked beautiful, but it wasn't in my brand guidelines. Be careful with the prompts. Use the right guardrails for your brand. Don't trust everything that AI says. Please don't, because it's really not true. And you know, don't fall into the pitfall of not being too specific, not providing the right context, the right content. little example, this was a developer tested 53 AI modes. One question, I want to wash my car. The car wash is 50 meters away. Should I walk or drive? Guess what they said? You walk, of course, because that's exactly how you're going to get your car there. This was my funny story, but it's actually a true story. So a man got injured on a flight. He found a lawyer, 30 years experience. This is in Australia. The lawyer used ChatGPT to research similar cases. ChatGPT gave it 3 cases, which are listed here. These are all made up. These aren't real. These are fictional. The lawyer didn't check his sources. It went to court. He was disciplined and fined. It happened again in September last year. Please be careful with what you take out of AI and what you believe to be right. So lastly, this has been a real whistle-stop tour. I'm sure you all appreciate there is so much more information, and each of those slides I could have gone into in so much more depth. But just as a quick takeaway, your AI use is not to replace your core marketing strategy. It is to complement it, to support it, to enrich, enhance it. Please start by focusing on the high impact areas, getting the content, idea generation from it, helping it to getting it to help you write email, newsletters, articles, LinkedIn posts, etc. Use a simple framework. So using that slide that was maybe slide 5 or 6 in my deck, use that and work through that methodically to ensure you have a process. Start small and scale up what works, because things will work and things won't work. And always measure ROI. Always try and measure ROI, because it's not always that easy. But good luck. And that's everything from me.
This is about how we can use these specific technologies in a way that makes it more helpful for you in practice. So we have gone on and done a little bit of experimenting, pretending that we have a clinic. So how can we use some of these tools for practice use? So, and obviously you can apply these kind of things to any type of business that you're running. It's to give you an idea, to give you an inspiration and some points of consideration as we go along. You know me by now, I'm sure. I've been doing this for a long time, specializing in SEO, because that was my passion from the very beginning, data. So that's why I liked it from the beginning. So, and I'm still really, really convinced that this is an industry that more than ever is going to be helping people out now, not just on search engines, but on AI search tools as well. And the agency that, you know, that it only specializes in providing SEO support. One thing that I want you to keep in mind, don't consider that these little examples that we're going to be giving are too prescriptive. So we are giving you ideas, but by all means consider it like an open buffet. Take what you want and leave the rest. And if you're only gaining like 2 good ideas out of this, it was worth the experimentation. Again, as Tabitha said, these things do change and they change all the time. So consider it as a work in progress. So there are many things that you can do and different tools will come up, different ways. It's understanding how to collaborate with these systems that we have, not exactly specifically what to do, but how you can get support from these tools. And all that you see here is doable with free tools. So you don't have, if you don't want to commit on any different expense. Now, first of all, we think about our audience and we think all the time, but sometimes we don't think that easily by-stepping as if we were by-stepping in the client's shoes. So we tend to assume, and what can help us is using these tools to try and get a little bit of a deeper understanding of our audience. So I'm going to be giving you some examples. And in all of these examples, you will see we have been testing different kind of tools. So we will tell you which one was the best for us when we tried it, because we've tried different ones and we've seen some are really awful, some are kind of decent, some are really good. So this is a kind of shortcut to give you what worked for us. But again, feel free to try your own and contradict if you want. Just say, I tried this, it's so much better. By all means, we all help each other so much if we share our findings. So I pretended, for the sake of this experiment, of being the owner of a clinic that does migraine and headache treatments, because it's a kind of industry that I understand, not because of clients, but because I understand the type of topics. So if I'm a doctor, and you can do the same for every kind of industry, every kind of business that you're running, you should try asking these tools, what do people search for when they want this kind of tools? And the reason why I recommended Pperplexity in this case is that Pperplexity is fabulous at giving you sources. So you can go down and actually check who has been mentioning what. So if you go down the end of the list, you will be seeing what sort of articles, and you can keep digging deeper. But with this kind of prompt, you will be able to understand patients, clients a little bit deeper, and find sometimes some of the things that you weren't initially considering. Even based on your experience, there might always be some interesting things to take away. So together with what makes them choose something, you could start asking them, for example, for their pain points, their concerns, the things that don't work. So then you reverse engineer and you make sure that you won't have anything like that. Or you can explicitly declare, I know this is your pain. I understand you. I empathize with you. I've been doing this for so long. I know that you don't want this. And this is why we don't do that. So it's you clearly declaring that you are with them and you understand them, and you took an extra mile to understand them even better because you really want to service them as well as possible. So this is a way that you can align your service offering exactly with what the audience needs. So if we can use these tools to try and make humans a little bit happier, I mean, why not? Now, the other half of the importance that I would like to give today in the usage of these AI tools is to look around you and consider, yes, you're dealing with your audience, but you're not the only one who does that. I mean, SEO people are a little bit obsessed with competition because SEO is a competitive industry, and you only have that kind of 10 results, zero-sum kind of game. If you get on the first page, it means you push somebody down. You need to be better than someone to get there. So it's always kind of keeping an eye on who's around you and what they're doing and how can you do better. So we can use AI really well to do some competitor research for us fairly quickly. I mean, all of these things, you can do it more in depth, obviously, but if you dedicate like half an hour, you can get a lot done. And I know we're always really strapped for time, but you can get a lot of takeaways. Then implementing them is another matter, but at least acquiring the knowledge. Knowledge is empowering. So if you acquire the knowledge and you understand, then you are in a better position to fight back. So first thing, you need to find out who your competitors are. So it's the kind of evil queen moment in which you say, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me who's the first of them all. So you are asking literally, and you shouldn't be envious like the evil queen does. You need to be happy to see who else is being explained, who else is being listed. Obviously, you would like to be listed, and that's another topic for another day. When we're talking about SEO, and we are going more into how we get you to be there. But aside, even if you're not being listed there, take stock on who is actually being listed there, and I will tell you how to find out why also you're not being mentioned. So again, many different tools that you can try. The one that we've seen at the moment that performs the best is Gemini for this kind of specific little experiment, because it's so woven with Google business profiles. So it can immediately give you the most kind of reliable and fresh and relevant results. But again, try and test and see. So become aware of who else is being mentioned, and then question yourself, do I really consider them competitors? Are they who I want to fight with? And you decide, you define your list, your kill list of 5, 4, 3 competitors that you want to deeply analyze, and you can get a lot of knowledge then. Things that I wouldn't recommend at this moment, ChatGPT, because, you know, we have done quite a bit of experimenting on this, and they are pushing a lot now. They're moving fast and breaking things, as they say. So they're pushing lots of new changes. They're starting to put advertising in there, and they have implemented this nice little visual addition to the results, so that the results look a little bit prettier. But it's not correct. So yes, these results are correct, and these data are taken from Google Business Profiles, so they kind of interface. Absolutely make sure that you are claiming and you're maximizing your Google Business Profile as much as you can, because these AI tools, they're taking knowledge out of that, all of them. But then it creates stuff that doesn't exist, like this image. It doesn't refer to this doctor. It's another gentleman, and it's just given an image that is completely pointless. Or the second one down, the neurology clinic. It didn't have an image. It created something that looks fairly okay, and then it added a link that is completely wrong. It's a scout website, so it doesn't really, it at the moment isn't there yet. I'm not saying it won't be. I'm saying as of now, we can't rely on that as we can on other tools. So it's interesting to check in your half an hour, have a look, and if you want to have a laugh, if you see that there are some crazy hallucinations there, but it can be interesting to discover if they're mentioning the same people, if somebody is not being mentioned by some other AI tools, so then why? And now that you have your kill list of, say, 5, 3, now we want to study them a little bit better. So next thing we can do is ask, and in this case, we tried and seen the best results with 𝗿𝗏 and 𝗵𝗍𝗍. Analyze these competitors' website, whatever niche you are, you can ask a similar thing, and explain me how they attract the patients. So you will do a little bit of research. Let me fetch the content. Let me also check a few more pages. Okay, I have enough. Here's a quick, clear breakdown of how they attract patients. And you see a lot of stuff, and then you can immediately kind of say, I have it. No, I don't. This is interesting. This is completely not me. So it's a really good reference point of understanding how they are doing. And you can push it a little bit further and say, what are they doing well? What are they missing? That's discovering the gaps. It's really interesting when you find out the gaps. So it says, these things, these are doing really well. These are completely missing. Interesting. So you have a competitive gap. You have some leverage in there. Again, 𝗵𝗍𝗍 and 𝗿𝗏. This is a cute one, sentiment analysis. So Google reviews and ChatGPT, the best for this. You find your competitors, Google Business Profile, copy all of the reviews, chuck them into ChatGPT and say, tell me their top 3 complaints and top 3 praises about this competitor. And I've given 2 benchmarks because I wanted to compare, but you don't have to compare. You can just ask for each of your competitors, what are people happy about with them? What are people really unhappy? Interesting knowledge to acquire. And same thing, SWOT, their strengths and their weaknesses. So you understand from these and based on what people are saying. So we are supposing that the reviews are authentic and reliable, you understand what people like and what people don't like about these competitors. And now it's a moment in which you are facing them one by one. So you select your competitors and you put yourself against them literally. And you ask, compare my website with their website and tell me the difference in terms of whatever you want to analyze. In this case, I'm looking about a medical clinic. So patient trust, clarity, likelihood to generate inquiries, because that's what we all want. We want more revenue, we want more business. Okay, I've analyzed Perplexity and Claude best in match for this case. This is you, this is them. The things that they have and you don't have, like they have a CQC kind of mark of quality. You have a blog, even if it's dated. So there are lots of things that you can see how you actually rate with them. And it's interesting because there might be things that you don't really want to do or things that don't apply to you, but you're kind of seeing yourself immediately side by side, and it's easy to spot the differences in this case. What topics? So if we are talking about content, I mean, it's SEO, so we can absolutely be guided, and we will talk at the end how we need to remain data-driven. Otherwise, yes, this is really helpful, but it won't necessarily get you to rank. But at least when Tabitha was talking about inspiration for content, you have a white page and you don't really know, give me some ideas of what they're covering and I am not. And then it will kind of go down and scan and tell you there are some things that they mentioned. Well, I don't know, I don't like that, I don't want that. So you immediately see if you're kind of covering everything that you want. You don't have necessarily to go and copy anyone else. We'll go a little bit more in detail about this. What are the questions that people ask and they're not answered in my site? And in this case, it will dig and go into external websites, finding what are the most common patient questions regarding this. So it will dig into your website, then it will dig in external sources with what people want, and it will tell you immediately the difference. So what is not on your site. And then a breakdown of the things that people want and are completely not answered. And you kind of have a nice, interesting checklist to consider to start from, at least. Then we push it one step forward and say, listen, AI, choose. Who would you choose? Would you choose them or would you choose me? And be ready for the answer. Or if you give them 2-3 options, which of these would you choose? And doing the test, we tested ChatGPT, we tested Perplexity, we tested Claude, giving the two kind of top. And we saw interesting thing that they all recommend the same. So there is a kind of consensus around what they consider better. But they do give kind of slightly different answers. So ChatGPT is giving you a more kind of elaborate response. Claude is interesting because it says, I would choose this, but only just. This one could win with a few simple changes. Oh, okay, tell me what I have to do to win. So it's so easy. You are being informed and obviously, as we say, taking it with judgment, doing all our due diligence, but there is a lot of actually pointing the finger on things that we haven't done. And sometimes we're very oblivious. We don't see things that are clear in front of us because it's our thing. We don't see the lid inside of the jar. So we don't sometimes see the obvious lots of blind spots, and this can be helpful to uncover. Perplexity, the same. It's giving the same kind of answer, but it's explaining why and how and what are the elements. So recommended testing and trying a little bit of all of them. A little reminder, and this is something Tabitha already mentioned, we shouldn't ever take what it says at face value, because even if it's completely made up, it's so self-assured that it could convince anyone. So just pretend that you need to double check everything. Just vet that everything that you see is accurate. Otherwise, you will be believe that the scouts do migraine treatments and that gentleman is a doctor. He's not. So we need to double check that things are really what is portrayed. Don't go on and focus on copying what the others do. These core exercises should unveil three things to you. It should unveil what your audience wants, so what they actually care about. It should uncover what are the gaps they are interested to be covered, if they're interested to be covered. And then you put in there your USP. So your unique selling proposal, your why, your reason why people should choose you needs to fit nicely into the audience and the things you've discovered and the gaps that you've discovered. Final thing, professional SEO still kind of matters, not because I have an SEO agency, but because it still matters. These things won't inevitably get you to rank, because if you start writing content about things that you've discovered that you have as a gap, and you're not targeting the right keywords with the right metrics and so on, you might be wasting a lot of time and not reaping any rewards. So stick to data as well. And there are lots of things that you also need to keep in mind that will get you to rank and don't work if they're not up, like page speed, indexing pages, otherwise you build them and might not be indexed, or structured data, all of that. We need to remain mindful that this doesn't suffice. It won't get us there. Final thing, bonus tip. We're talking about competitors. This is free. Google Alerts. You can set one. You should have one on yourself. The brand name and all of that. Whenever there's something published anywhere, you have it. But you should check the competitors as well. So if you set ourselves up an automated alert when a competitor is mentioned, you can immediately see if they're getting a piece of PR, if they're winning something, what are they doing. It's an immediate notification that comes into your inbox, and it can make a difference. So this is me done. Final thing I wanted to say, if you want to scan this QR code and you haven't gotten it yet, it allows you to have 1 hour all for you, one of us, analyzing your site and giving you lots of recommendations. They are tailored exactly for what you need. And then you decide to do whatever you prefer with this knowledge. You can bring it to your best mate, you can do it in-house, you can get somebody like us to do it. It's free and it's a lot of value, actually, because it's not downloadable. It's done manually by one of us. Off we go. So